Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Like us on Facebook.
Keep listening to our weekly episodes to find out more.
Thanks for joining us.
Download episodes of previous shows.
Are you ready?
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore, and today we have with us New York Times, USA, and Amazon best-selling contemporary romance author Cathy McDavid. She has sold over 1.3 million books, and that is a major accomplishment. And she's penned 45 titles to date, and she writes contemporary westerns for Harlequin romance since 2006. Cathy is also a member of the prestigious Romance Writers of America's Honor Roll. And 4 years ago, you worked in a corporate setting, and now you get to spend every day writing about handsome cowboys riding the range or busting a bronco. I know it says in your bio that you live in Arizona and you married your real life sweetheart. And not many people.
Kind of.
Well, but still. So I'm going to let you tell us more about that. So go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah. Well, we actually met almost 5 years ago at our high school reunion, and we didn't go out in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So he is my current real life sweetheart, but it was great. We were friends in high school, but didn't date, and then after many years, we re-met at a reunion almost 5 years ago, and hit it off.
That's wonderful.
We've been together ever since. So we've been actually married just a little over a couple of years. So.
Okay, well, I love that. This is the stuff that romance novels are made out of, second chance romances. So, and I love those. So you have your real life one. It also says that you have twins.
I do. They're 20.
Okay.
29. I had them very young, very, very young.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a boy and a girl.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
But they're grown now. They're all grown.
All right. Well, I mean,
and I'm very lucky. Like I said, I worked many years in the corporate, kind of a right brain, left brain person. I guess I worked many years in the corporate world, and I loved it. I loved what I did. But I started writing about 20 years ago or so, kind of on the side and at night, and when I could, and raising my kids and working and stuck at it. You know, it's a different industry back then.
Yes.
And now I'm lucky enough that a few years ago I could leave it and get to write all the time. So
well, that's wonderful.
The dream.
Yes. I think that is every writer's dream, is to be able to write full time and not have to worry about doing something else in the meanwhile. You have all of this time to do what you need to do, because writing in itself is a full time job. So
Well,
yeah,
it is.
It really takes.
I have my mom. My mom is a little bit older, so I have to take care of her. Gosh, but she's doing great. I don't want to.
Well, but that's good though. That's good.
Yeah.
That you're able to do that.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Yeah, and I lived. I spent most of my life. Everyone says, "Well, why do you write cowboy books?" Well, I did. I've actually had horses most of my life. I don't now. There are a lot of responsibility, and I'm in kind of that phase of my life where I'm trying to. Not downsize, but,
Yeah. The responsibility.
Well, I want to be a little freer to travel with my husband and do some things, and it's hard with animals, but, from the time I was a kid to a few years ago, I've had horses my whole life and kind of lived that Western lifestyle and loved it. Just loved it.
Well,
it was a great way to raise kids.
Yeah.
And get out my inspiration. So.
And I know Arizona is such a beautiful place. And so, I mean, you have the perfect backdrop for writing Westerns,
Right.
So you can't ask for more than that, to have all those picturesque scenes. And then, like you said, you had horses at one time. So I mean, pretty much you can just the story is right there. All you have to do is just give the characters names, and the story is pretty much written.
It is. It is, and there's just a lot of, and I happen to think that cowboys are a pretty sexy kind of guy.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
They make a good hero. And they're very appealing in a lot of ways. So, and then a lot of people like cowboy romance.
Oh, I do too.
I enjoy writing them.
Well, let me tell you, I grew up watching Westerns, and the cowboys on those shows were some of the best looking cowboys I've ever seen in my life. So, when you read about, when you read about them, you sort of have a face, to go along with the characters. So that's a wonderful thing. So, but I guess selling over 1 million books helped you to make the transition from the corporate world to writing full time. Before then, how did you, an obvious busy writer with twins, have it all?
Yeah, I mean, it was times I worked. I was very determined, and again, I when I broke into it, it was a different environment then. There wasn't self-publishing like there is now. So the goal was to be traditionally published, and it was tough. I went through the many rejections, and I really had kind of baby steps in my career, starting with small presses and selling a couple books and to moving into a little bit larger publisher, and I really wanted to write for Harlequin. And I used to, when I started, everybody went to bed, the kids went to bed, and I sat down and wrote. And you
got to get it in when you can.
I lived on too little sleep, and didn't watch any TV.
Right.
I mean, really, I didn't watch any TV.
Yeah.
And but it's what I really wanted to do, and it took a while to get the kind of career that I wanted. And again, it's changed, it's changed a lot, and I'm trying to be as not flexible, but, adapting to the industry changes. But I love writing for Harlequin. I'm probably going to do that for as long as I can.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right.
And keep doing those kinds of books, so...
Okay. Well, your career is illustrious, and your latest project is The Cowboy's Perfect Match. Do you want to talk about that just a little bit? And then we'll go back to what you just touched on a little bit, because that's one of my questions. Yeah. But if we can just talk about that for a second.
Sure. I would love to. I've had a lot of books set in a fictional town called Mustang Valley, but I have little kind of series set within... So I might have 3 books in this series or 4 books in this series. And this latest one is called it's The Sweetheart Ranch, and the Cowboy's Perfect Match is book 2 in that. Okay. And the first one came out in November, and it's actually, I just think it's the greatest idea, and it's a wedding. It's a cowboy wedding ranch.
Oh, okay.
So I took in my town of Mustang Valley, there is this ranch that they turned into kind of a bed and breakfast with a wedding chapel, and they do all kinds of cowboy kind of things. So people can get married and they can have the cowboy experience.
Wow.
And stay in a little honeymoon cabin. Wouldn't that be great in real life?
Yeah. It would.
So they do the things. And so, of course, there's 2 sisters that are 2 of the owners, and the first book was one sister, and The Cowboy's Perfect Match is the second sister, and they both work at the Sweetheart Ranch, and in this, The Cowboy's Perfect Match, she is the chef. She's the on-site chef, because they also do special honeymoon breakfasts. They have some foods. They don't really do full service, but they're like a bed and breakfast, and they kind of specialize in honeymoon type, cuisine. So I have to do a lot of research on cooking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not much of a cook. I'm certainly not a gourmet cook. So I have to watch a lot of cooking shows and do a lot of research.
Yeah.
For that. But it was a lot of fun.
Well,
and there'll be 4 books in that series.
Oh, okay, okay. I love book series. I do. I just finished up one. Not too long ago, and it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. Now I know that you're strictly a contemporary romance writer, but once upon a time,
I used to write historicals, yeah.
Okay, but once upon a time, you wrote a paranormal romance series called Night Hunter.
I did.
Can you talk more about this?
I did.
Okay.
One book, and you know, I think as a writer, you know, we kind of explore different things. And so I enjoyed reading paranormal romance, and I thought at one point I want to write a paranormal romance. And I had actually written a couple that didn't sell. And right when I literally sold that book, and within 10 days, I think I sold a Harlequin. It was amazing. I had 2 sales, and Harlequin made me, you know, a terrific offer, and they were a bigger publisher, and they had more, wanted to build my career, I guess.
Okay.
More, you know. So I didn't pursue paranormal, even though, you know, I liked it, because I had basically, you know, it was like getting 2 job offers.
Right.
One was better, but I always liked that book a lot.
Well, I tell you.
Yeah, I got the rights back to it and reissued it.
Good.
It might become an audiobook.
I hope so. Oh, please let it become an audiobook. Those are my favorites.
I did just come out with my first audiobook, which was a Western historical.
Okay.
I started out writing Western historicals. I wrote 3. I had 3 published. And there's just not that much of a market for Western historicals, so I kind of, you know, went to contemporary, I said that wrong. It's Western historicals, but there's not that much of a market, so I went to contemporary Western.
Okay, contemporary.
Which wasn't too much of a, you know, I mean, yeah, it was a change, but...
Yeah, but not too much of a stretch, right.
In the Western.
Right,
you know,
and
I still loved writing the stuff, but I still, you know, the Western historicals, I just love them, you know, but...
I do too.
You know?
I do too. Well,
anyway, so I did, my first audiobook came out of my Western historical.
Okay.
Like just a couple weeks ago. So
oh, great. Okay, so I got to look that one up too. But I really want to read this paranormal romance series called The Night Hunter. I definitely got to read that. And I plan on reading the other ones.
I have to just say, though, it's just one book.
It's okay. It's okay. And I'll read that one. Now, based on what you just said and what's hot in the market right now, and the romance erotica is like at the top of the charts. Crime, mystery, and religious inspirational books, science fiction and fantasy, and also horror. So I know we want to be true to ourselves when we write, but also keep in mind we're trying to sell books, you know, to an ever-changing market of readers. So what are your thoughts about such a fickle market these days?
Yeah, I mean, I actually almost think, to me, then you mentioned inspirational, and I don't write inspirational, but my more recent books are what they would call sweet romances. Okay. And I think a lot of times you can go to either extreme. It's like you're either going to go, you know, erotic, or you're going to go sweet. And I'll write some sexy, but I've never, for me, like you're talking about being true, I've never been comfortable really writing erotic.
Okay.
It's just not what I enjoy. You know, I mean, everybody has what they like.
Right.
It's a great, big, beautiful world, and we all, you know, there's lots of choices, and we get to read or write what we want. And I've always been, you know, I'm fine writing some sex, but I didn't really want to go that far.
Right. It's sort of explicit.
Like it was forced for me to try to write that. So now I'm writing sweet, and you know that's fine too. I actually like a little bit of sex in my book.
I think we all need just a little bit.
I don't know, you know, you're writing about 2 people falling in love.
Right.
It's probably a natural.
Right, it's expected, yeah.
Romantic relationship.
Right, it's expected, yeah.
But I do know that there's a large market, a very, very large market for people who enjoy sweet romances, and I do enjoy writing those too. You know,
right.
And so anyway.
And I like reading those too. I like reading the the YA, because it's a lot of sweet romances, and I like that. I mean, I like a vast variety of books, but I'm drawn to that type of a book. Now, I know that you are a contemporary romance writer. You do clean fiction, but now, have you ever? I know you said that you wouldn't, but have you ever considered changing your style of writing based on what is selling right now? And let me just say, if you change to, let's say, erotica, which you said you don't care for that, would you consider writing under a pseudonym if you had to write it?
Well, it's an interesting question, because I'm actually have been very compelled lately to write women's fiction.
Okay.
Which is popular right now too. And I thought about that because would I try to bring my current readers over to that, or do I not want to and maybe think I'd have better luck with a different name? I don't know. I think it would depend how different it was. If I were to sit there and say, you know what, I am going to turn around, the Empire book, I probably wouldn't write it under Cathy McDavid.
Right.
I just don't feel like I would be targeting the same readership.
No, and I feel like your hardcore readers, the ones that have been with you from the beginning, they might not like that changeover very much either. So yes. Right. So you want to be true to them, because those are the ones that, they buy your book. They expect the very next book, that you write. So you don't want to ever disappoint your loyal fan base. But that would be exciting, though, to write something different and then do it under a pseudonym. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, and I know a number of authors who have done that. Absolutely, who have done that and done it successfully. So, I don't know. I haven't quite yet gotten that tired of writing cowboys. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just a thought, I feel like it, and that's good. I mean, that's your passion. That's definitely your passion.
I am very lucky in that I do get to write the kind of books I like. Though I would say, if anybody asks, if a new writer asked me advice, I would say try different things, because I did. Right. I tried romantic comedy, and I tried paranormal, and I tried young adult, and I tried Western historicals, and I, tried contemporaries, and I tried romantic suspense. So, I think you need to do that to see what fits your voice, and what fits your style, and what you enjoy. And I love to read romantic suspense, or actually just thrillers, or any kind of. Right. Don't have to be romantic. I still like just straight thrillers or mysteries or whatever. But I find that I don't think I necessarily write that well. That's something I'm going to enjoy reading, but not necessarily something that I'm good at writing. Well, and I get that, because you said that you're a decent cook, but you're not a gourmet cook. So why would you write a cookbook if that's not your style of writing? Right. So that just makes all the sense in the world. So have you read anything that makes you think differently about fiction? It's really interesting, because I have changed what I read the last couple of years, really. Gosh, is anybody listening? I don't read that much romance anymore. Okay. I other than other authors' work, I do read theirs. But for pleasure, I have found that I've really changed to more straight fiction. Okay. And interestingly enough, and I don't know, why. It's just, that seems, you got your faces. You too. And right now, I like the kind of books that I call them friendly literary, but that's not really a good name. But they're books like maybe Water for Elephants, or The Secret Life of Bees. Oh, yeah, those are great books. Those kinds of books are the ones that, I seem to be enjoying lately. Okay. I just finished The Light Between Oceans, so, anyway. Well, variety is good. I mean, variety is good, especially, when you're a writer, because it's always good to read other writers' work, and and because there's a vast variety of it,
And so, the more you read about it, because you never know, when the occasion might call for you to write something just a little bit along those lines. So if you've read that type of fiction before, it can help you later on. You just never know. But I'm like you. I read for enjoyment. I read a lot of different types of books. I may write romance, but I read a variety of different types of books. But as writers, we know that our words hold power. So what was your defining moment of this truth?
Well, I don't know. I think I would like to tell a story, and I don't know if I'm quite answering your question, but
just take a shot at it.
There was a time when I hit a lot of walls, and it was right before, it was a couple of, like around 2004, and I just was hitting wall after wall after wall, and I just had a huge disappointment. And I have an agent. I had the same agent from the very beginning, and we talked after this huge disappointment, and she said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I'm going to write this particular book." And she went, "Oh," and there was like,
that's never good.
She's like, there's not really a market for that right now. And I said, "I know, but at this moment, I need to rediscover the joy of writing. I've been trying, and I'm trying, and hitting these obstacles, and it's not fun anymore. It's
like work.
It's a heartache." And,
yeah.
And I said, "I need to write for the joy of writing, and I need to do that." And I wrote that book, The Gate to Eden, and I wrote it very quickly, and I sold it. And that was the book. And the editor loved the book when she bought it, and she was like, "It's a beautiful book." And I thought, and it was my first big sale.
Okay,
to a bigger publisher, and really kind of launched my career.
Okay,
I'd done some small things before, but I thought, look at that. It was the book that probably, my agent didn't think there was a market for, but it was a book that I wrote that, to me, I have to rediscover the joy of writing because I'm going through this really difficult stage. So I don't know if that's really the question you're asking.
It is. That was
defining moment.
It is. That's it.
Absolute defining moment.
That was definitely it.
The thing is, I'll write what my publisher tells me to, and they have. They've said to me, "Hey, would you write this kind of story? We're going to do this, or we're going to do continuity, or we're going to do a Christmas thing. Would you write that?" And I go, "Sure, yeah, great." Because I look at writing as it's my job, so that's kind of like my boss telling me what I should do.
Right.
And so I do it. But, there's still got to be a certain amount of, I love what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
It's still within my wheelhouse that I love it,
Yes.
So
yes.
Anyway, there is something about write what you love, I guess.
And it is. You have to, you have to write what you're passionate about. And I think as a writer, you can find a way, even if there are certain demands being made that they want you to write a certain way, but I still think that there is a way for you to put a little bit of what you like into the story as well. So now I know, I'm sorry. I know that, excuse me, Walter Farley, writer of the Black Stallion series, was one of your favorite authors. So how much influence did his writing style have over your desire to write about cowboys?
Well, I think ultimately it had a lot, because that, I read those as a young child. And by the way, I actually collect books. I have almost all of his books and some other childhood books, like middle school books like that, that are from a printing that could have been ones that I would have actually read. They're not new ones.
Yeah.
I actually go to find them at old bookstores and go, "Oh, look, here's one from this period."
Right.
Anyway, but I loved horses, and because of that, I ultimately, talked my folks into getting me a book. And because of that, I guess I ultimately had that lifestyle, And I mean, seriously, you know, I get along very well with my first husband, who's the father of my children. We've been married a very long time, and he's a cowboy.
Oh, okay.
You know? I mean, yeah.
No wonder. Yeah.
You know, and he'll joke and he'll say, you know, things like, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, she writes about me. You know? And there was a point I did. So.
Yeah, and very true. So, you know.
But yeah, it did. You know, it did. It's you know,
okay.
It started my love of that.
Well, good. And I think that's a good example, a good role model to have. It's one like Walter Farley, because we're all familiar with the Black Stallion series. I think that was one of my favorite books, too, as a kid to read. Yeah. So now, switching gears here, let's move to the publishing side of this. So what do you think is the most, I mean, and you've not even experienced this, but what do you think is the most unethical publishing practice in the industry, or have you even considered it?
Ooh, okay, I have one, but I have to think if I want to say this. But actually, I talk quite a bit, and I'll be honest, because I would say this to, should I have a conversation today? I don't care for the ghostwriting that's going on a lot right now.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about, I think we can say, yeah, you know, Nancy Drew was ghostwritten. Okay, we know that.
Right.
You know, but that's a franchise.
Right,
so
right.
At, you know, I think maybe Goosebumps, I could be wrong. R.L. Stein with Goosebumps might have been ghostwritten too. Okay, but that's a franchise. But I think what I don't care for right now is there's a practice of authors are buying manuscripts for very cheap prices and packaging them as their own and selling them as their own and putting to where they're putting out books, you know, every few weeks, and they're not books they've written.
Wow.
And, you know, I don't know. Nobody talks about it a whole lot. It's sort of like that dirty, ugly little side, you know, but it's going on right now. And I don't like it. I feel it undervalues the person who wrote the book in the first place. I mean, I get that they feel like maybe the manuscript was sitting there doing nothing, so they sold it for $1,000 or something. But I also, it feels a little bit of a cheat to me when the author is presenting it as their own.
Right, and because it is.
And they didn't write it. And I know people are going to throw up and they're going to say, well, James Patterson does that. Well, yeah, but he also puts their name on the cover of the book.
Right, right.
And so that doesn't feel quite like, plus he brainstormed the idea and he wrote the outline for the story. So, you know, but this is something entirely different, and I don't care for that practice right now. I don't care for it at all. And there's some other practices going on, like book stuffing and other, you know, the self-publishing industry has, you know, brought on a lot of practices.
Well, I think it's unfair.
So I don't like the ghostwriting.
Well, I mean, it's a conversation that needs to be started, you know, and you know, awareness needs to be brought to it. And I don't understand how, you know, a publishing company would buy something from someone posing as the author, because that seemed like that would set them up too.
And that has happened, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just independent authors.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're independently publishing the books.
Okay.
As their own.
Oh,
so
okay.
I do think there was a case a couple of years ago where a gal did sell a book, but she didn't.
That wasn't very smart.
I can't remember all the details, but yeah, it came out. You know, but I don't care for that, where I'm buying books from other authors, and then I'm packaging them, and I'm self-publishing as Cathy McDavid books.
Their
when
work.
I didn't write them.
Right, and yeah, that's not fair, taking credit for something you didn't do.
Yeah, I don't care for that practice right now, but it's something that's happening.
Well, I mean, and I'm glad I asked that question because, you know, I wasn't aware of it. Now, I know that there are a lot of unethical things that go on behind the scenes, but that was one thing that I wasn't aware of. So I'm glad we started that conversation. Yeah. But now you are a signed artist who has a great writing and publishing relationship with Harlequin Romance for years. So what advice would you give to any newbie desiring a contract of their own with such a well-known publisher or any well-known publisher?
Well, you know, I ultimately sold to them because I pitched to a Harlequin editor at a conference.
Okay.
And I'm a big supporter in that. And so if I was to say to somebody, and that is, your goals. If somebody says, my goal is to sell to Harlequin or a publisher like Harlequin, I would say, meet with editors. Harlequin does a lot of, they just had, I think they're having one now for their Love Inspired line, so I'm sorry I don't have the details, but they'll do like little Twitter pitch sessions for a day, where you pitch your book Twitter and the editors reading. I think they just did with Karina, but that's what I would suggest. If you have your eye on a traditional publisher, more to do more than just submit, but to actually meet the editors if you can. Go to conferences, meet with them, pitch your book in person.
Okay.
I think that's, as scary as it is to pitch, it's really
one
of the best ways.
It is, because you're right there, and if you're trying to get your foot in the door, that's the way to do it. So this is my final question for you.
Okay.
Okay. So what impression would you like to leave with the audience as it relates to relevancy in this market?
Wow. I should have had more time to think about that.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I just threw it on you.
Do I want to leave from a writer standpoint or a reader standpoint?
Well, I think from both.
Okay, because it's a tough market right now. I mean, it's hard. Self-publishing has really changed the landscape of publishing. I've been around. Gosh, now I sound old. I've been around a long time. But it is really different. It's really, really different, and in some ways, it's exciting and dynamic and wonderful, and opportunities were out there. But at the same time, it's harrowing and it's difficult and it's discouraging.
Okay.
It's
that's true.
It's hard.
That's true.
It's very hard right now to it's almost harder to make it as an author now than it was before. So I think, it's been said before, but as an author, you need to be true to yourself.
Okay.
And I think, but you have to, be trying different things. That's all I can say is stay up. As a reader, and right now readers have a lot of choices.
Right.
So many choices right now.
Yes.
So I guess, but it is a tough, I'm going to say it's a tough market. It's a changing market, and it's tough, and you've got to, bob and weave and
well, I think that's,
and adapt.
I think that's good advice, as far as staying relevant in this market. Like you said, there's a vast variety of of readers, and so as a writer, you want to meet that challenge. So I thank you so much for your wisdom, for your time.
Well, I thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I think you've brought so much, to the show today. And, I'm sure the listeners have learned a lot, and especially, aspiring authors who, they need that little extra push to get them going. They need, just a little positivity to let them know that they're moving in the right direction, and some truth to let them know that, sometimes it's not an easy road. You got to work hard at it. And, but if it's something that you love, if it is your passion, and if you stick with it, then you can be successful. And I do believe that, that you are like the poster woman for that, And even when, as far as to write something, that your agent told you wouldn't sell, and look, it sold, and look where you are now. So sometimes you have to trust your own judgment as well. So I thank you so much for being on the show today, and giving us these little these little seeds of wisdom, because we need that to help us grow, and and plus added the water to help us grow into what we want to be once we while we're out here. So I thank you so very much, and hopefully we'll get to talk again, because I'm definitely looking forward to it. Because
thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it, and I love hearing from people. So if they want to go to my website,
yes,
contact me through my website, would be good. Great.
Well, can you give them that? Can you give them that address? Can you give it to them right quick?
I can. www.cathymcdavid.com. All one word, Cathy with a C, and like I said, there's way to contact me there, and I just love hearing from people.
All right. And you're on Facebook, Twitter, or you're on Instagram?
I'm Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
All right. Okay. All right. So that covers everything. I think we should probably leave Snapchat alone. All right. You enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thank you so very much for your time. God bless you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. All right, folks, there you have it. My interview with best-selling author Cathy McDavid. She was a joy to talk with, and I hope you learned as much as I did about this publishing market, about what it takes to become a best-selling author. She definitely left some seeds of wisdom out there, and I appreciate her for doing that for us. But before I let you go, I want to give out these URLs so you can keep listening to the show, and ways for you to get in contact with me if you so desire. And of course, the first one is to my Spreaker account, and it is https colon I'm sorry, let me start over. Okay, it's https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can also follow me, like me, on Facebook, which is https://www.facebook.com/Vivian Moore Author. You can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is God's Property 46. I'm also on Instagram under God's Property 51. And you can check out my website, which is at https://vivianmoore.wixsite. That's wixsite.com/author Vivian Moore. You can also look at the weekly blogs that is on blog site, and that one is https://vivianemore.blogsite.com. And if you missed the live show today, you can listen to it at your leisure on iTunes and also iHeart Podcast Radio. All right, folks. So that is all that I have for you today. I thank you so very much for tuning in, for listening to the show. It was a little bit longer today, but that's okay. The conversation was so interesting. I had a hard time letting her off, because she was just so great with, answering all the questions and things of that nature. So I dearly appreciate it. And I hope that you're planning on going out tomorrow to worship. Take some family members, take some neighbors, some friends, some children with you. And by all means, tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Download episodes of previous shows.
If you enjoyed today's show, please head over to iTunes, give us a rating, and leave a review.
Like us on Facebook.
Thanks for listening.